Okay, now there's two parts to this assignment here. The first part is doing something you've already done, but you just need to complete that part of the assignment. There's 4 of them. The second part is something you have not done, okay? I will tell you to pause the video when it's time to work on the first part, then you watch it, come back to the second part. Now, find the product. We've done this, okay? Of course, to find a product, there are 2 steps. First, I take FOIL method. It's called FOIL, F-O-I-L, first, outer, inner, last. I don't really like that term. I just like boxing up the X, taking it times everything in the other parentheses. So I take 1x times 1x. I take 1x times 2. That's done. Then I take positive 5 times 1x. And I take positive 5 times positive 2. Okay, so 1 times 1 is 1. And then 1 plus 1 on the x's is x to the second. 1 times 2 is 2, and you're going to have x on that. 5 times 1 is 5. You're going to have an x on that. And 5 times 2 is 10. So that's done. Okay. Now the highest power I got was a second, so blank x is second plus blank x plus blank. X is seconds, I've got 1. That's all I have. For regular x, I've got 2 and 5, so 2 plus 5 is 7, and then I've got 10. Done. Okay, next one, 1x minus 3 times 1x minus 5. So I've got 1x times 1x. Remember, those minuses mean we're going to be multiplying those numbers behind them as negatives. And 1x times negative 5. Negative 3 times 1x. And then negative 3 times negative 5. Okay, so 1 times 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 times negative 5 is negative 5, and there'd be an x on that. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. There'd be an x on that. And then positive 15. So, done. And then I've got blank x to the second plus blank x plus blank. X is seconds, so I just have this one, 1. For regular x's, I have negative 5 and negative 3. I add those, that makes negative 8x. And then 15 just slides in there. Okay, 1x minus 2 times 1x minus 7. So 1x times 1x. 1x times negative 7. And negative 2 times 1x. And negative 2 times negative 7. Okay, so 1 times 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 times negative 7 is negative 7 with an x on it. And negative 2 times 1 is negative 2 with an x on that. And that's going to be positive 14. So done. I got blank x is second plus blank x plus blank. So x is second, I got 1. For x, I've got negative 7 and negative 2. That's going to add up to negative 9. And then 14. Okay, x plus 4 times x minus 5. So I've got 1x times 1x. I've got 1x times positive 5. I've got positive 4 times 1x. I've got positive 4 times positive 5. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 times 5 is 5. You'd have an x on that. 4 times 1 is 4 with an x on that. 4 times 5 is 20. So blank x squared plus blank x plus blank, and you got a 1. 5 plus 4 is 9. Oh, what am I doing? That should say done. Sorry. And then the second steps line up the blanks. So 1, 5 plus 4 is 9, and 20. Okay, you need to pause the video and go do 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the assignment. That shouldn't be a problem. And no, it's not busy work. I'll explain after you're done why I had you do that. Okay, hopefully you got that. I would expect that you did. Here's the next thing. It's factoring the expression, okay? What factoring is, taking an expression like this. There's 1, 2, 3 terms. And I have to get back to these two factors here. And people are like, why would you want to do that? That's stupid. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's going to seem like it on this assignment, but it's a skill you're going to need going forward. Okay? Okay, so we need to get it done. Okay, this is how you're going to factor the expression here. You're going to put a 1 here, and you're going to set up those charts like you were yesterday, and you're going to label the numbers on top A, B, and C, the big numbers. I don't care about the power. Okay, I'll deal with that when I need it. Okay, what I need to do is find the product of the A number and the C number. So A is positive 1, C is positive 14. That gives me a product of positive 14. So I put that on top. It's positive. And when that's positive, I need to look for two factors that give me a sum. That means they need to add to 9, to the B number. Okay, so I take 14 divided by 1, 1 and 14. Those do not add up to 9. Keep going. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Those do add up to 9. Now that we found them, we circle them, but I need to put the right sign in front of them. Now, you see how I have a positive 9, okay? That means you got to have your bigger number 7 be positive. And whenever we do a sum, the other number is going to be the same sign. So positive 2 and positive 7. And if I add those, 2 plus 7, that ends up positive 9. Okay, now you make 2 parentheses. And first, you know, this times this makes 1x squared. So the only way that happens is if you have just x and x. And then this times this has to make positive 14, but it's also got to add up to positive 9. Well, I just found how that happens. So plus 2 plus 7. Boom. Okay? Now, watch what I do here. This is you don't do this, okay? I don't need you doing this. I just want to show you why that works. If I multiply this out, it should equal what we started with. So I take 1x times 1x, 1x times 7, and that kills that off. 2 times 1x, and 2 times 7. 1 plus 1 is 2. 7 with x, 2 with x, and 14. Okay, blank x squared plus blank x plus blank. I have 1. 7 plus 2 is 9, and then 14. Now, compare that with what you started with. They're the exact same, okay? So this is the right way to factor that. X plus 2 times x plus 7. Okay, next one. A, B, C. So I take A times C. A is 1. And C is positive 48. 1 times 48 is positive 48. So it's positive. If that's a positive product, which it was, you're looking for a sum, which means you add to try to get to 14. I know 14 is negative, but I'm just going to put 14, okay? So 48 divided by 1 is 48. When I'm doing my T-chart, I don't want to worry about negatives until I find the actual two numbers, okay? That does not add up to 14. 48 divided by 2 is 24. 2 and 24, that adds up to 26. That's not 14. 48 divided by 3 is 16. 3 is 16. 3 plus 16 is not 14. 4 and 12. 4 plus 12 is not 14. It's close. Close don't count, though. 48 is not divisible by 5 because it's 9.6. I don't put ones that give me decimals. 48 divided by 6 is 8. 6 plus 8, bingo, 14. Now go look at your 14. It has a minus in front of it, meaning that these two have to make negative 14. So if you have a negative in front of that, you need to put a minus on your bigger number. And when it's a sum, they have to be the same sign. So if that's minus or negative, so is the other, okay? On sum, the signs have to match. They could both be positive, they could both be negative, depending on what the B was. It's 1x squared, so we know that that's x times x every time. Because before I was always putting ones in front, and I was getting 1x squared. Makes sense. Minus 6 minus 8. Okay, next problem. A times C, that's going to be positive 1 times positive 44, and that gives me positive 44. And I'm looking for a sum. All this whole packet, I'm looking for sums because I'm always going to get a positive, I guarantee it, of 15. 144. That's not 15. 44 divided by 2 is 22. That does not add up to 15. 44 divided by 3, fail. 44 divided by 4 is 11. What's 4 plus 11? It's 15, okay? Now you got to put signs, so I circle this. That's plus, so 11's plus, and on a sum, they have to match the signs. So XX, and then I just put plus 4 plus 11. And if I multiply that out, it's going to equal that, I guarantee it. Okay, next up. A times C, it's positive 1 times positive 36, which is 36. So I'm looking for a sum that equals the 15 in the middle. 1 and 36, that does not add up to 15. 36 divided by 2 is 18. That does not equal 15. 36 divided by 3 is 12. Bingo. Go circle the B sign. So this number over here has to have that sign. A sum means both the signs have to be the same. They have to match. So XX minus 3 minus 12. Okay, keep going. A times C. 1 times 36. Positive 36. Sum of 13. No. No. 36 divided by 3 is 12. That's 15, but it's got to be 13. 36 divided by 4 is 9. So I put the number I divided by and the number I got. What's 4 plus 9? 13. So I have minus 13, though. So I have to have minus 9, and sum means they have to match. So XX, and then minus 4, and minus 9. Okay, next one. A times C, so I'm going to be taking 1 times 24, positive 24. sum has to equal 14. 124, no. 24 divided by 2 is 12. 2 plus 12 is 14. Now I have plus 14, so we got to have plus 12 for sure, and a sum means the signs have to match. So it's x plus 2 and x plus 12. Now some people might be wondering, what if that number's not a 1? Don't worry about it for now, okay? How about we just have them all be 1s, and then we'll get to the ones that aren't 1s later. Okay, so A, B, C. So positive 1 times positive 28. It's positive 28. Sum has to equal the 11. 1 and 28, that's not 11. 28 divided by 2 is 14. That's not 11. 28 divided by 3 is a decimal. Here, I'll even show you. 28 divided by 4 is 7. So 4 and 7. Does that make 11? You bet. So I've got plus 11. So you got to have plus 7 and plus 4. So it's x plus 7 and x plus 4. Okay, last one. A times C, I'll be taking positive 1 times positive 55. That makes positive 55. That'll be a sum of 16. 1 and 55, that's not 16, it's 56. Those are not the two. 55 divided by 2 is a decimal. 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 5 and 11. What's 5 plus 11? Oh, 16. So I've got minus 16, so you're going to have minus 11, and then a sum means they have to match. So it's x minus 5 and x minus 11.